Well, the point is museums tend to exist longer, and if the museum does its work well, it reformulates questions every time. I mean, you have a work of art and you show it in your museum for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and the thing is, after a certain time, people will not come if you have not reformulated why that work is there. So the museum is the point of exchange between, on the one hand, a society that changes and a work of art that is looked upon from different and always also new perspectives. And if a museum is able to maintain that change, so always looking at is this work relevant now? It's not relevant. What should we change? Is that because of the work, or is that because of the narrative? And then thinks about how to make that productive within its own procedures. Then the museum can play a very big role, because museums tend. Our impression is always that a museum does not change, but a museum changes more if it's done good with the society it is in. That depends very much on the situation the museum is in. What we have seen over the last few years, or not of the last decades, is that a lot of the scholarly input of museums is being outsourced because of the fact that museums did not have, the financial background to do all the functions they are in for. So a lot of scholarly research has been outsourced. But in a perfect world, which we are all striving for, the museum should be, on the one hand, doing scholarly research, that's point one. On the other hand, it should always be, in the position of enabling scholarly research by others, and as such, being an agent within, a network of scholars. And I think, that is my opinion, that we are now in a situation where there is a kind of a refiguring of the collaboration between museums, externals, market, and so on, where everybody is kind of, taking new positions, and we're trying new ways of networking, which makes it quite exciting. Well, the easy answer is always money, but that's not what it's about. It's, I think, what a museum lives from is input. And that input, it can come from very diverse sources. The input is, on the one hand, a financial input to make the business possible, but the input is also the input of scholars, but it's also the input of audience. And what we see over the last 10 years is that the input of audiences has become more and more important, and that the museum is also by that changing its attitude towards what it's actually doing. There used to be the time when it was like, be glad that you're allowed in the museum. Well, that's not the position we are in nowadays. Nowadays, it's the museum is, if it's done good, it's one of the palaces of the people. That is where the actual exchange about what society is interested in is focused. And then focus in a certain way, because we are all looking at art. And that is where the future, I think, of the museum is that a diverse society looks at art and talks about it.